everybody, to Unarmored Talk podcast. We have an amazing couple that's willing to remove their armor to help our listeners and viewers gain a better understanding how emotions can really influence the situation. But if you think through it, you can improve the outcome of the majority of situations while living. I'm your host, Mario P. Fields, and today we have Joshua and Bree Cox. Again, you guys know I don't have that button.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I think next year I'm going to start selling some hot dogs on a weekend in 2024. Maybe grow the budget where I could kind of get that little button.
Right, you'll get it. It'll be amazing.
Hey everyone, but before I do the, you guys know, do the kind of the professional introduction. Here's some admin stuff again. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing, listening, and watching, downloading, and all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. I'm gonna say it every episode. Every time you click on any video on the podcast playlist on my YouTube channel, or watch any videos on my YouTube channel, or you go on Unarmored Talk podcast on all majority of audio podcasts, you're generating funds that's donated to Still Serving Incorporated. And the next school year is about to start. Our next check presentation will be in August, coming up soon, probably like around mid-August. So again, thank you guys for sharing with your families, colleagues, and friends as this show is rapidly approaching 3 years and running. I love everyone. Thank you. And if you guys get sick of me saying thank you, oh well, thank you. And I thank God for allowing me to do this, because I do not have the natural talents and skills. Okay, I'm done. I am done with the admin, done with all that stuff. And so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, we have Joshua, who is a military veteran. He served the United States Army. Thank you for your service, my friend. Thank you. He's also an entrepreneur. And then we have the commanding general of the Cox family. We have Bree. She has an extensive background in sales and customer service. She's also has that entrepreneur spirit, like her husband, of course, and more. We know the deal. Joshua could not be the soldier that he was and still is without the commanding general's guidance, the commander's intent. Tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about yourselves, you lovely couple.
Well, again, thank you for having us. We're super privileged to be able to share a little bit about ourselves. Well, first off, we've been married for 6.5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And like I said, I was in the Army. I was Army Reserves. I was able to deploy once. Prior to that, just worked a lot with my hands. Always wanted to do a little bit more with my life. I think the Army got me out of a really bad situation, or a situation where the future didn't look too bright, and it gave me lots of opportunity. And I think joining the service really sparked the realization of what I can achieve, and I continue to grow in that perspective every single day. And that kind of brought us onto our path of, okay, maybe we can pursue things that really, we're passionate about, and really, pursue a purpose that, our life, we feel that our life we're here for. And that's what really brought us into the entrepreneurship side. And it's been a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say for myself, like Joshua said, we've been married for 6.5 years. Originally from Virginia. Now we live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And for me, I just thankfully, I grew up in a nice background. I was blessed to be able to have the things that I had. And I feel like it was not until I met Joshua, and then a couple of years after we got married, and some of the people and things that have influenced us, just seeing his mindset behind, always wanting to do more and, challenge himself, and how he loves people, and, the heart that he has for the Lord. I joke around. I tell him I feel like he came out of the womb loving Jesus because I just don't know what I would do without a man, like him. And so it challenges me, to adapt and to seek out to be a better wife to him, to be a better sister and a better friend. And so I would say, yeah, that's for me.
That's awesome. What they say, Joshua, your first words weren't mom or dad. Your first words when you came out, they smacked your butt. You was like, I love Jesus and I don't care what y'all say. Now cut the umbilical cord. Let's go.
There's a joke behind that because when I was a kid, when going through the store, it was Halloween, and I don't condemn anybody. Like, I don't look down on anyone that celebrates Halloween. We just didn't, right? And so we were going to the store, and I remember I was 2 or 3 years old, and I would just, every time we passed any decoration, I would just scream as loud as I could, "That's ungodly! That's ungodly!" And that's where the running joke came from.
Mom and dad's like, he's passionate. All right, that's passion. Now, when he grows up, we're going to package that passion. So, before we jump into the topic, you guys aren't far from me. We just passed. We're not far from Charlotte. So the cool thing is, in the future, we Nicole and I come through Charlotte. We got to take you guys out. Dinner's on us, lunch is on us, cup of coffee. Y'all just got to bring some high chairs. You know the deal. I'm about 5'2" for change, and Nicole,
I'm with you. Don't worry, it's okay.
Bring some booster seats, and Nicole and I are good. But
well, that would be great. No, that would be amazing. I didn't realize that was close.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you guys again for the wonderful background on both of you. You're letting the listeners and viewers learn a little bit about yourself. But let's jump right into the topic. A lot of times I've seen some research that when you don't mix business with family, and you guys, not only did you mix business with family, but you are a husband and wife in the e-commerce industry working together. How is that?
That's a good question, sir. Still trying to figure it out. No, really, it's been a journey. It wasn't like we started in this journey and we were like, oh, we were right on track, like partnered together. We were just perfect right out the gate. No, it was growing. It was some growing pains involved. And I think the reason why a lot of family members don't work very well together is because them, like they say you're too honest with each other, or you show your bad sides a little bit more, like there's no courtesies, there's none of those things. So strip all that away, there's a lot of infighting, things like that. I think what we had to understand was, if we were going to, what's the point of marriage anyway, right? It's a union between three: me, my wife, and our Heavenly Father. That's our faith. That's what we believe. And it's our marriage is, sanctioned because there's also a purpose behind it. And so that means we would have to act as one anyway, whether we were working together through business or working together in life. So I would imagine that if a couple would have trouble with working together in business or working together in that capacity, it's probably because they haven't found their footing on how to work together in life yet either. So I think they're very close as far as whether it's life or business. And I think that as long as you sit down every day and really walk through what is our purpose, what are we here for, and if working together within business will get you to the outcome that you're called to do, I think that keeps us in line with making sure we're on the right page at all times. I don't know if you have something to say.
Yeah, and so I know like Joshua said, beforehand, it has not always been this like team togetherness. And just speaking for myself personally, with how I grew up, unfortunately, that made me a very selfish person, like as an adult. And I felt like everything was due to me, right? And so when we, first start our business and all of that, I kind of thought of the I, like myself, like, oh, well, I'm doing this, like, like, you're not doing as much as me, and like there was always this, like, I wouldn't necessarily say like competitive,
Competitiveness.
Yes, yes, I could not get my words out, between us. And that is something that I still to this day have to really remind myself of, with him saying like we are a team, and it's me, him, and it's the Lord, right? And so I know that he is the leader of our household. And so, I cannot sit here and be selfish, as a wife, and think that I can go off, or I can achieve, all of these things without him. I mean, maybe I could, but like, what would that be? That would be worth nothing if I didn't have, Joshua with me, right? And so knowing that the Lord blessed us with this, our business and what we do. And I get to partner with him and do that. It's like, okay, God, you gave us this. Now I need to sit back and trust and, allow him to lead and, work together in unison with him, because when we work together, we are so much stronger than us being separate, and we can, help more people. And he's good at certain things that I'm not good at. We both have strengths and weaknesses. So when we come together and we partner, it's like, oh, we got this thing. Like we're doing it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not and Joshua, I like how and it's a choice, and I like how you chose to take the approach as this. Hey, we're married. This is a component of the marriage. Let's get rid of the business and don't mix family, with business. Let's take this as another journey together as a couple. And do this together. Then Bree, I love how you self-reflected. You're like, hey, let me tell y'all, man. I'm selfish. I was selfish. I was raised that way. Let's be clear. And she probably looked at you sometimes like taking a nap. You taking a nap for? You tighten it up. I want circles around you. And I love it. And I love how you guys, the approach with the faith as the foundation, faith in God as the foundation, the nucleus of everything. And so during this kind of learning, you're learning, all right, like you said, Josh, you're taking this approach. All right, this is marriage, and this is a marriage. Bree, you're going like, yep, we're together. You probably pray together. And now you say, okay, I got a little selfishness in me. And Josh is going, all right, I got to figure some things out. If you had to pick like one moment where you're like, okay, I don't know if this is going to work. Was there a moment where you're like, okay.
I feel like he's probably had those way more than me, because I view him as perfect, as if he can do no wrong.
No. I mess up all the time because I'm a human being. I think we both had moments where we're like, this business, can we both work together with the business we have and achieve what we want? That has always been, I think, especially in the beginning, a question we weren't sure what the answer was yet.
Right.
And I think there's been multiple moments where we've gone like, whoa, is this going to work? Is this really going to work? And a lot of it just really we had to build up our faith and the value of who we were. I think one of my main issues was and this is something I'm still growing in as of today, that where is our value as people, as me as Josh, as Bree, where's our value? Where does it lie? And our identity was rooted in things of our past rather than in who we really were. I think, at least for me, especially, I had a huge identity issue, a very low self-esteem, and that actually caused a lot of problems. And I think that's what caused a lot of instances where I would sit down and go, man, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I would probably never voice those things to Bree because I I didn't want to bring anything down. So that's why she has no idea, like, right, like, for most of the time. But it's
Ladies
like,
and gentlemen, this is exclusive on Unarmored Talk, guys. Unarmored Talk.
right. But yeah, I think what the journey really was with, like, after I've had multiple instances of like, oh, I don't know if we can do this. The journey at that point was, okay, where I need to fix how my identity, who I identify myself as in Christ, and the value that I can bring to people around me.
Yeah.
And that was a very long journey because there's been lots of things in my past growing up that, screamed at me saying how worthless I am. So unlearning and reversing all of that doctrination, if you will, of how worthless I am, that took some time. That took a lot of work. It took a lot of intention to make sure that I don't fall back into the mindset that I had before embarking on something greater.
Yeah, I think that's really good, babe. I would say, because I don't think I really, I'm not sure if I really thought in that manner. But I will say, because of how I view Joshua, because of how much I love him, and like how I feel like he can do no wrong. That's just me. I'm just biased, of course. But I looked at it from a perspective of, myself, like, thinking, okay, well, what if I'm not good enough for him, right? Because he has values, he carries himself, he has high standards, right? He does pretty much everything he does with excellence, and he does nothing less. And so, knowing that before we even met, and I would say not until kind of recently, within the past couple of years, I had to learn how to instill those things in myself. And also, to this day, still, know that I have to have standards. I have to have, values, and like how we want to live our life, and like, the non-negotiables that we have in our home, and, just about us as people, and how when we have kids and things of that nature. And so I had to realize, okay, I am enough, right? Even though I felt like I wasn't beforehand. And now seeing that and knowing that, and growing with the Lord, and allowing him to and getting into his word daily, that has what helped me grow myself more, in my confidence, and knowing like I can be the wife that he needs, right? And so I can do this with him. And if I sit and I think about, is this going to work, or man, I don't think this is going to work, then it probably won't work, because I'm feeding those thoughts. I'm sowing those seeds and planting them in my mind. And what you speak is, it has, your words have power behind them. And so, just be more positive, trying to be more positive, and not try to be negative. He always reminds me, PMA, positive mental attitude, like be positive, think positive. And I was a very negative individual. And I'm still, learning how to be positive and speak those things. And so, just, having a different outlook, and allowing myself grace, I think, is what the main thing was.
Yeah, and I love how you guys highlighted this where a lot of folks believe that if you go into business as a couple, it's going to ruin your marriage. Here you guys are going, we went into this framework, we went into business together, we started self-reflecting and making choices accurate, on Unarmored Talk, by the way, and accurate choices to go, why do I think that way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know why I think that way, because when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I that? Why do I behave this way? Oh, because when I was 12 growing up, I'm going to choose to stop thinking that way and improve, and taking this business opportunity, this framework to improve one, like you mentioned, Bree and Joshua, improve this person first, and then improve together. Amazing. Just amazing. You guys can invoice me after the show. Just put a net 365 on it. just amazing. It's so, I don't, if you guys listen to the most recent episodes, I don't say, I know you're busy, so I'm gonna let you go. I don't say that because all the guests, they're having fun. And you guys mentioned your purpose of helping people. So before I let you go to continue to help people around the world, can you tell listeners and viewers a little bit about how are you guys doing that together in the e-commerce industry?
Man, that's actually a good question, because the e-commerce industry is so vast and there's so many different facets and so many different systems. And a lot of it has to do with, we focus a lot around mentorship. Mentorship in life and in business at the same time, because a lot of our mentors that are in our lives, everyone wants to achieve something, right? But you've probably seen the statistics of when someone wins the Powerball and they get all this money and they are broke literally just months later, because the person that they were could only handle where they were. So a lot of times when you want to achieve something, you have to become the person first, and then it comes after. So that's what our focus is on, an elite mentorship group, that we focus on these leadership principles and to grow yourself as a person and in business at the same time. And that, to me, is one of the most impactful ways to live a life, because you're not just helping someone financially, you're helping someone holistically. And that is impact to me. And that's why we do this.
Yeah. So looking back, since you guys first started this journey together, in business together, if you had to pick, Joshua, you pick one, Bree, you pick one. If you had to pick one piece of advice, Joshua, what would you give another couple who may start this journey?
Okay, that's also a good question.
You go first.
Okay.
Mario Fields on our Talk podcast.
I think one of the best realizations I've come to understand with the people in my life, especially when it comes to relationships, I think most infighting, or most butting heads, most friction is caused due to miscommunication. And everyone will say, communicate, make sure your communication is good. But a lot of times you don't really hear a definition of okay, then what is good communication?
Right.
And I think I would say pay more attention to intention rather than what actually happens. Because 9 times out of 10, intention is good. The result, the action they took, maybe not so good. But don't jump on the bandwagon of looking at, oh, this is what you did. Oh, this is a mistake you did. Oh, this is that. Well, that wasn't their heart in the first place. So why are you treating them like it was?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the biggest things, if someone were to go on a journey like this, is to keep that in mind.
No, I like it. And guys, you guys heard it from Joshua, understanding what is good communication, identifying that for yourself, and being intentional, and then self-reflecting on the results of that, the behaviors that were associated with your actions, and improving, and being intentional in that process. And Bree.
Yes, that was really good. I would say.
Bree's like, baby, we got to talk after this because that was impressive.
I was like, man, I probably should have went first. I'd go for this guy. But I would say, making sure that you guys that the couple has a vision together, and like a dream, in that they know where they want to go in life. Because I know there's a quote, and it says, a man without a man without a vision will perish, right? And so, if your husband already has a vision, or maybe he doesn't, working with him, and figuring out, sitting down with each other and saying, okay, where do we want to be 5 years from now? Okay, like, what do we want our finances to look like? Like, how much debt do we want to have paid off? Like, do we want to have kids at what stage? And, what amount of money will we need to be able to support them comfortably to where we feel like we can have kids at this stage? And just, building your future together, because if you try to do it separately and he's thinking it's going to look like this and you're thinking it's going to look like this, it's just going to cause nothing but friction, and you guys are both going to end up working towards different paths, and then you're going to find yourselves completely in two different places, right? And so just figuring out what it is you want for your family, what that looks like, how you're going to get it, how long it's going to take for you to get that vision or that dream, and just stay together and couple together, and trust in one another. I know that's something that was hard for me, so learning to trust him more, and let him guide and lead. And so yeah.
Bree, I mean, you guys are not. I mean, it's a shared vision. I mean, you guys know I'm a business owner, and with the entrepreneur mindset, a shared vision. It's easy to develop a vision, but it's a little challenging to find a bunch of folks to share it.
Yeah. This is why she's the general over here.
I'm not joking. One of the major struggles I had in 2018 when I started to still starting to incorporate was finding people that shared the vision, shared it, and for you to highlight, to be intentional, to talk through what does the goal look like to you, and making sure you guys share that vision in different complexities, and just amazing. You guys are awesome. If anyone wanted to connect with Joshua and Bree Cox, how can they find you? How can they connect with you guys before I let you go?
Yeah, no, we're both on LinkedIn. It would just be, Joshua Cox, and for Bree, it's Bree Cox. And then also emailing. I know it's a little archaic nowadays, but it would just be, my email is just joshuacox24@yahoo.com. And I think Bree's is Bree Cox 24x@gmail.com.
Nice. They'll be in the show notes, everyone. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on Unarmored Talk podcast. I truly appreciate the both of you, and please continue to do awesome things in a shared vision together, communicating effectively to help people while you're on this earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a blast.
No, I appreciate it. Well, everyone, you guys know the deal. Episode every 2 weeks. So if you're listening, you can hear me in about 2 weeks. If you're watching, you can see me. But until then, you guys know the deal. God bless you, your family, and friends. Be safe out there. We'll see you soon.